Podcasts are hot right now. How do I know? Well, you're listening to one right now, aren't you? But you might be wondering, how on earth do I get my voice out there and start my own podcast? It all seems so intimidating. Between hosting and platforms and monetization, it can get real complicated real quick. Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We started this podcast over 2 years ago, not knowing clue one on how to do it. So how do we do it? We did it with Anchor. Anchor is the free podcast app with creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on all the platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And everybody likes money, right? Well, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So go right now, download the free Anchor app, or go to Anchor FM to get started. It's the eCommerce Minute, your daily dose of e-commerce, tech, and retail news with your hosts, Bart, Mroz, and John Suder. The eCommerce Minute is a production of SUMO Heavy, a digital commerce consulting firm in Brooklyn, New York, and Philadelphia. Find us on the web at sumoheavy.com. It's eCommerce Minute episode 631.
In today's episode, Google launches new clothing search format for better e-commerce queries.
A while back in episode 576 titled Google Shopping Gets an Upgrade, we discussed Google's complete revamp of their shopping capabilities. The update features a new personalized homepage, price tracking, and new smart image technology. And now the company is at it again with another update to make consumer shopping experiences even easier. Google continues to work towards facilitating seamless e-commerce queries, and this time it's through a new search results format, which is particularly designed to show clothing-related queries. Now, when you do a web search for clothing, shoes, and accessories, you won't just get a set of links to different products and stores. Instead, Google will present a new section where it features the most popular products from stores around the web, which you can filter and browse. When a mobile user enters a search term like running shoes, Google will identify products from internet retailers and bring them together with streamlined functionality. Shoppers can filter the search results by style, department, and size, or see several images of a product. Search results will then point to online stores, allowing shoppers to visit those sites to order products. Shoppers can also read online reviews from other shoppers to make more informed purchase decisions. For this advancement to run smoothly, Google indexes and organizes product information for more than 1 million online stores worldwide. Google's new mobile shopping section for clothing gives retailers and fashion brands a way to connect with consumers at a time when they're increasingly using their smartphones to search for clothing. For Google, it helps round out a commerce play that's becoming increasingly central to the search giant strategy as the competition with Amazon heats up. The feature is already available on your mobile device. Nice update. Looks good.
Yep, I think it's a logical next step in Google becoming a player.
Google's?
Yeah, in Google's.
Although, do you go to Google and search for your clothes first, or do you go to like a brand that you like?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I actually mostly shop in store first and foremost. I really never order clothes online, but when I do, that's a really good point. I just type in, for example, Forever 21. I just go right to
John?
Forever 21.
It depends on what I'm looking for. So running shoes is a very good example because I have very specific shoes that I like.
Mm-hmm.
I will sometimes just go and, for instance, Adidas fit me better than Nike. So I tend more to Adidas and New Balance for running shoes. The problem with running shoes in particular is that if you fall in love with one model of a running shoe, you can guarantee 6 months later they're not making it anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's one thing that I want to bring up. So how do you compete mostly if you're a consumer? So you've got that consumer who says, I want to buy running shoes and I don't want to spend more than $100. You're going to filter up. Obviously, they're going to see that you're looking for price. How does a smaller brand now compete? A smaller online store now compete when you see that all these search results come up? So here's a great example: running shoes. Running shoes. So the results are coming up. It's Nordstrom Rack, JCPenney, Cole Haan, Backcountry. But I'm getting all these weird results, but all of them are obviously big brands. I'm just wondering how it weighs that. Does it weigh it towards? Bart, help me out here. How are these search results being weighed?
Google is a mystery. I can't really tell you.
I know, right?
The black box. It's always been a black box, but I think it's probably weighing towards, it's like search results, right? So, they're not advertised, right? So they're trying to get the like what you would look for. I mean, it's not really. Yeah, it's basically like if you think about it, like, oh, I'm looking for a jacket. It just knows all your stuff. So which jacket are you looking for? So this makes sense
Yeah,
for it to
and the
be
funny
nicely
thing is,
done.
while we're talking, I've reloaded this a couple times, and it's reloaded it different ways each time. But in the second carousel, we have shoe stores, and then we have news about shoes,
Mm.
and then there's more extended articles about. But obviously the top results now is going to be all shopping. So if I click on famous footwear, it's nice that they basically make a little landing page, and I'm sure the brand has no input on this, but it's basically a landing page, mobile landing page. You see a picture of shoes, brand name, the logo, shop the latest Nike styles of famous footwear today, plus get free shipping, and there is all of your products displayed nicely. I think it looks great. I mean, from usability standpoint, it looks really fantastic. But again, my only negative on this is how do smaller online stores compete against this? I mean, how do they bubble up? And we don't know, I guess, right? You open up an online sneaker store, okay, whatever the hell the name is, and you're selling the same pair of Adidas running shoes that JCPenney is selling for the same price, same shipping, same everything. That's apples to apples. Why wouldn't you come up first in the search results instead of JCPenney or Famous Footwear? Is it because they advertise more? Is it because they have more product listings? What is the answer to that?
Well, yeah, that was my question. That's why I said, like, that was why I was asking how this SEO is going to, if the SEO would play into that. Like, what are they tagging? Like, what does it look like on the back end? Like, why?
It's
you know
voodoo,
what I
baby.
mean?
It's
yeah,
voodoo.
exactly. Like,
It's
why?
always, they're not going to ever tell you. And the funny thing is, they actually they have algorithms, and internally they don't actually know either, because it's all it adjusts itself. And
yeah, that's a good point.
they look at how it's displaying. Google always been, what's the most relevant to you personally, right?
Yeah.
So it goes through that process, and for the most part, I mean, it's good, right? Because it does find you. The problem is like where ads are and how ads are displayed. So I think you're going to get more advertising in that picture based, which is really crazy.
Yeah.
That Google is going to potentially do picture based advertising.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're just gonna any kind of photo that you look for. It's
right.
Like, here's an ad that's related to your photo.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, listen, they need to do a lot of different things all the time, because that's where they make their money.
Yeah. And I think what this goes up against, I don't know if this was a response, but when you're talking about visual shopping, visual browsing, who's the king of that? Well, it's Pinterest right now.
Mm-hmm.
Pinterest now with Pinterest Commerce, what's to stop you from clicking on a pair of shoes on Pinterest? And I just think that's more of an immersive experience, because I think once you go to Pinterest, you have this other kind of, I guess, mindset. Whereas like you're on Google, you're just going, I just need something quick. But when Pinterest, it's more of a mindful browsing experience, meaning you're going in there to look for something specific. You start off looking for something specific. You may go on 17 rabbit holes, as most of us do. But I would think that it's more of a mindful experience, meaning you know exactly what you're looking for. And the way Pinterest is designed, it'll just keep showing you more stuff that is just like that, and it'll just follow you forever. For instance, if you look at my Pinterest feed, it's a lot of like graphic design, posters, lettering. But if I click on something about cooking, I get recipes for like the next couple of weeks, because it's going, you still want to look up that potato chickpea curry, don't you? I mean, doesn't that look delicious? Because it wants you to keep searching. It wants to keep you engaged. But I think from that standpoint, in that to sell you something, Pinterest is just more of an interesting experience. And then you can click through, and it depends on who's obviously posting the photos and links there. But you would think if someone's into running, you could see this running shoe, and it could either take you to a blog post about a certain running thing, or it could just simply just take you to a landing page where you can buy, X shoes, whatever the hell they are. So I think this is sort of a response to it. I mean, what is it? They have Pinterest now has 322 million monthly active users, which is small compared to like a daily search query for Google. But still, those search queries, I think, are more monetized than Google's are. And that's what the response, I think, is all about here.
Fair
That's
enough.
tea.
All right, we'll close this one up a little stat time. Some marketers are shifting as much as 50 to 60% of their search budgets from Google to Amazon, which has become the most popular starting point for product search per researcher JumpShot. And finally, shares of Google are up nearly 70% over the last 3 months. And that's as of this writing, which would be January 2020. You guys got anything else?
No.
No.
I wish I did.
Yeah. All right. Save it for the next one. All right. That's your e-commerce minute for today. See you on the internet tomorrow.
We are out of stuff.
We're out. We're empty.
Yeah, we're out of
We're out of things.
opinions on Google's search.
Bye-bye. That's it for today's show. If you like the show, do us a favor and subscribe or leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can now listen to the e-commerce minute on your Amazon device. Just add e-commerce minute to your flash briefing. And finally, if you have a comment or suggestion or just want to say hi, find us on social media at SUMO Heavy.